Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and on this channel I share everything personal finance. I cover budgeting, saving and investing. If these topics are of interest to you, then please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get in today's video. So in today's video I'll be talking about the true cost of buying my second rental property. Last year in June I was able to share with you the numbers for my first rental property, my first buy to let here in the UK, and I'm going to do the same in today's video. I'm going to go through the whole process and then I'll walk you through all of the numbers, everything that I paid to the last penny. So let's get in today's video. So starting off first with searching for my second rental property. So I started my search back in January, end of January, beginning of February. And in February, it's where I really narrowed down. Like I started searching within the area that I live. I started searching. And by March, I actually found a property that I loved. It was a 2-bed property, freehold, and it was everything I was looking for. I placed an offer for the asking price after negotiating a little bit, and somebody else also did the same thing after negotiating. In the end, I lost out to a first-time buyer, and to be honest, at first I was like, wow, okay, but then I was actually happy that there's a seller who is like, okay, I've got 2 offers, they're the same, and let me give an opportunity to a first-time buyer. So that in a way helped me to lick my wounds. To be honest, I wasn't too mad about it, but it was a great property, had such great potential. Because it was 2-bed, I could either have rented the 2 rooms out or just rented to a couple or a family or whatever. So I was really bummed about that, but then I was like, you know what, it's okay, everything works out, to the glory of God. So I was just like, it's okay, I'll continue searching. So I continued searching in March as well, and by mid-March I found my now rental property, my second rental property. I had looked, I think I want to say I'd looked at 16 properties in total, and of those 8 I looked at them online, and the other ones I looked in person. And I'm glad that I looked the final 3. I am glad that I looked at them in person. Like really, really glad, because one of them had pictures from 10 years ago, and when I turned up to look at the house, it was a tip. There was nothing about that house that looked like what the pictures looked like, and I was like, wow, okay. But I'm so glad that I actually viewed all of these properties. Then I narrowed it down to 3. So the 3 that I narrowed down, one of them I actually hadn't seen, and it just came up, and the estate agent that had been helping me to look for properties threw it in the mix, and it's like, okay, it's within your budget range and what have you. So I was like, okay, let's add it in, and it was close to the property that I've purchased, so I'll have a look. So glad I looked at it, because to be honest, the one that I was added in at the last minute, I loved it, but I loved the pictures of it. When I turned up, it was the tip, and I was just like, no way. For me personally, as I am at the beginning of building up my investment portfolio, I am not at the moment looking at properties where I need to do a lot of work. I can do things like hiring somebody to change the doors, install new windows, maybe put it in a new boiler, maybe paint, but I'm not looking for more than that. I'm not looking for a property that requires a lot of work. I'm looking for a property that is ready to move in. I am not looking for something where it will probably take me anything from 3 to 6 months to get it ready for a tenant. So this is why for me a lot of them got removed, because a lot of them did require some work getting done to them, which is not something, like I said, I'm in the market for. So at the moment, I'm just looking at those that are ready to move in, or as close to ready to move in as possible. And maybe this is very naive of me, but every single rental property I look at, when I go viewing, I'm going there as a tenant, not as a landlord. I'm going there as a tenant in mind. And I'm like, okay, if I was the one who was going to live in this property, would I live in it? And the one which was added in the last mix, I never. So I knew already that that one was a definite no. There was another one which was, it was okay, but the location of it and everything else just made me be like, okay, no. But then this final one that I made an offer on and it got accepted is the one that I actually say to myself, This one I could live in. And it's the same thing. That was how I made my decision with my rental property. Because for me, honestly, if I myself cannot live into it, how can I expect somebody else to live into it? This is why I'm not looking for properties where I have to make a lot of changes to before a tenant can move in. So I finally found the house. I made an offer in March, at the end of March, and my offer was accepted. So the house initially was on the market for 185, then it got reduced to 180. Then I placed an offer and I got it for 175. So that was the cost for this property. It's a one bed property, like my first rental property. It's a one bed as well, again in the area that I live. So this is my plan, either to have a rental property in the area that I live, in the area where my parents live, or in the area close to my brother. So these are the three areas, but for now I'm focusing on close to me. So yeah, so 175 is how much I paid for this property. So I do have my notebook here, my trusted notebook with all of the numbers. So I'm going to share with you the cost of that. So after I made the offer, it got accepted. So it got accepted in, I want to say in March. Then because my rental property was tied to my other financial obligations, I couldn't close on it until end of June, which was fine because the searches took forever. There was just a lot of things that took longer than I normally would. So started searching end of January, beginning of February, found a property in March, made an offer in March, and completed in end of July. So that's the duration, that's the timeline for this second rental property. So in terms of the cost, because the house, I purchased it for 175, the deposit on that had to be 25%. I don't know if you can buy rental properties or buy-to-lets for less than with less than 25% of a deposit. I think you can. I'm just not experienced enough in that yet, and I think I'm just going to start searching because 25% is a lot of money. If you think about a 200,000 pound house and you have to put 25% deposit for that, it's a lot of money. So yeah, so for this 175,000 pounds property, my deposit was 43,750. So that's how much I paid in terms of the deposit, and then obviously the rest I got as a mortgage. And then I have a financial advisor slash mortgage broker. I paid him 99 pounds to arrange all the mortgages for me, all the costs and what have you. So that was 99 pounds. Then my mortgage broker recommended a lawyer for me. So I have actually had 3 firms so far. In 2020, when I bought my main home, my current home, I used a different lawyer, and I was ready to use that lawyer for my first rental property, but then she wasn't available, so I had to look for somewhere else. So I looked for some quotes and I found a different one. Then again, for this rental property, I was ready to either use the first one or the second one, but the second one, the costs were crazy and the first one still wasn't available. They're popular, that's why. So I was just like, okay, I need to take cost into consideration here. So I asked my mortgage advisor to recommend someone, and he did. And yeah, so I went with the second lawyers, and they cost 1,260. This includes VAT. Then if you are in the UK, you know about the bane of our existence when it comes to buying properties, and that is stamp duty. Oh my God. Stamp duty is one of the reasons why saving £10,000 to buy your first rental property is such a lie to yourself, because by the time you start looking at, okay, you put your £10,000 at a deposit, then your lawyer fees, then the searches, and before you know it, you have to pay stamp duty, which could be anything from £3,000. I mean, free if your house is worth less than, I think, is it £250,000, depending on the area. And it can go up to, I don't even want to know, to be honest. But for my first rental property, the stamp duty I paid was 5,700, and I paid that lower fee even though my property was 190. It's because there was a waiver at that time of buying these properties. The government had put in place a waiver, so I wasn't able to pay the full amount. So, but I paid 3%. I think it was either 3% of my total purchase or 3% of something. I can't remember. But I paid 5,700 for that. But for this rental property, I paid 6,250. That's stung big time. Like, I was like, oh my god. And this is why, if you've seen my refunding my emergency fund video that I posted last week Thursday, you will actually have seen that I used my emergency fund to buy the second rental property for final costs, and one of the final costs is the stamp duty. So yeah, then there were other fees, and these other fees cost me £1,521.20. I told you I was going to give you to the last penny. Now, these fees, I have my statement here from my lawyers. The completion statement's got a lot of things. So because it's a buy-to-let, there was a fee for that. There was a mortgage fee. There was a transfer fee. There were fees for searches, for search pack, bankruptcy fees, ID check fees, land registry fees, archiving fees, retention fees, stamp duty form fee, notice fee, like a lot of fees. I kid you not, buying a rental property is fun, but it is expensive. So for my second rental property, I paid in total 52,880.20. So this covers the fees that I've mentioned. So a lot of fees: stamp duty, my lawyers, mortgage broker, and my deposit. That's how much I spent. This does not include my mortgage that I got for this rental property. I got an interest-only mortgage, but if we include my interest-only mortgage, the true cost of this is £176,072.40. Remember, my cost for my rental property is £175. So that is how much I paid for my second rental property. I am happy that I was able to buy this second rental property, that everything went as smoothly as it could. The rental property I bought comes with a tenant already. So this month of August, I'll actually be getting some income from that, which is absolutely great. But it will be probably half the income because the tenant pays in the middle of the month and we close at the end of last month. So half of it will go to the previous owners and half of it will come to me. But then of the half that I get, I actually need to take out like £150 to pay my management company. So yes, for the second rental property as well, I've decided to use the same management company to manage the property for me. I do not intend to manage any of my properties at this time. They're all going to be managed by the management company of my choosing. And this time I'm choosing to use the same one that I used for my first rental property. So I hope you find this video useful. Please leave me some comments below. Ask me any questions about buying the second rental property and any questions in general about property investing in the UK. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please check out this first rental video that I made about the true cost of buying my first rental property. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.